What's happening, everybody? What's a good word? Hope all is good. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. We had a little too much snow, so a little irritated to be traveling and whatnot. It's a pain in the ass. So sorry I have to do this off the cell phone again. You guys know how much I hate it. So as long as you hear me good and we're good, we'll give it a couple seconds. If anybody's gonna jump in, jump in. Again, I'm gonna have a hard time welcoming everybody because I can't see all the comments. So what we'll do is wait a few minutes. I'm gonna probably come off the screen because I'm gonna have to shift it to comments. And if I, like I said, if I flip it, the phone takes everything off. So, and then towards the middle of the end, I'll give everybody a shout out and see what you've got to say. Let me go over the comments now. 1 second. Let's see who's in the house. Katie, CG2, what's happening? Tracy, how are you, dear? CG2, always a pleasure, you know that. Maureen, how are you, my dear? Last night we had some laughs, Cinnamon Girl, you were probably sleeping. And I know across the pond it was way too, probably early in the morning for you guys over there. And I came on unexpectedly. And I played another trick on you, Cinnamon Girl. I came on without you knowing, you know. But you know me, well, I hear the dogs barking. Again, we are an unscripted show. So you might hear dogs barking. You might hear a lot worse than that. I'm trying to fix this, guys, but all right. So you're starting to jump. Let's get right into it. Whoever pops in, pops in. If my boy Nicky T, if you're looking, if you're watching from afar, don't be afraid to jump into the chat group. Say hello to everybody. If you are watching, you will be live with us tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Just disclosure to everybody. 1 o'clock tomorrow won't be like, you know, topic we're going to discuss. Tomorrow we're going to have a conversation with somebody who's like son to me. And I love him, and he's going to give you his life journey, and it's a wild ride. And so tomorrow, if you are around and you want to hear a crazy journey, well, you could listen to this one. All right. So before we get rolling, anybody have any questions? Anybody have anything they want to ask me? Because I know what we're going to discuss today. I usually don't. I usually just fly off the handle or whatever comes to mind. Like last night, we were just shooting a breeze at 10 o'clock at night in the snow. So if anybody's got something they want to ask before we get rolling, feel free. That's what this is about. Me trying to answer. Timmy Irish, my brother, what's happening, my man? Great to see you here, Timbo. Great to see you here. All right, so without further ado, I'm sorry I keep coming off the screen, but that's the only way I can see the comments on my phone. And I know you guys ain't gonna have the patience. If I flip it, watch what happens. It shrinks me. I can see the comments, but it screws me up. So there's nothing I can do about that. Let's roll. Here we go. So in the thumbnail or in the description, I don't know if who reads the descriptions, who doesn't. You have to put a description in about what we're going to discuss. So if we're an unscripted show, I put that in there. We're unscripted, meaning, you know, and life changes second to second. So hey, even if you're some a show or somebody wants to talk about hot takes on things and that are going on there, life changes second to second, minute to minute. So it's almost, even if we were scripted, impossible to choose what we're going to speak about, because by the time I come on, a million other things have happened. And we're not technically a news channel. I'm not here to spread the news, but if something is on my mind, I'll speak on it. So two things I put in that description, they were just things that were in my head. And one of them was the TikTok thing that was going on. I'm not somebody that's a big player on TikTok. Now, when you content create, you tend to. I've never done a live on TikTok. I have many people say to me, "Craig, do live on TikTok, do live on IG, do live on Facebook." I don't. We do the YouTube and the Patreon thing we're doing, and that's just getting on. But what I do on TikTok is I'll post little 1 minute music clips or an upcoming show we might have coming on, whether it's here or to any wherever we are. You know. Um, by the way, to anybody that's always with us and stuff like that, if you ever want, you're in the car and you have Spotify, if you have it, or Apple Cast, if anybody, you can listen to the audios in your car. Um, they picked it up. I think we're on Rumble now. They just took that. So, I mean, these are, I believe there's free versions of all of those. Whoever is a member with us on Patreon, I think Spotify Premium comes free for like, oh, 3 months or some shit. Anyway, let's roll. Timmy, I hope you had a great weekend, brother. Crazy football, crazy upsets, insane. But we're not here to talk about football. That's something I put in that thumbnail. I ain't Dear Abby. I don't want to be Dear Abby. But I was having a good conversation with, I say my best friend, no doubt. Uh, and I was getting the perspective of um, the behaviors of, I don't want to ever paint with a broad brush because I don't know what other people do in their home. I'm speaking on about men now, or how they behave outside the street, because I don't know the whole world, every man in the world. I'm just going to say this. For the men that feel that they should be rewarded or patted on the shoulder for doing the right things in life, what I mean by that is whether that be as a father or a husband, um, it's a very, as I get older and really wrap my mind around it, and I uh, felt uh, fell in, guys, I'm an open book, but I truly believe in, you'd have to ask other people, uh, family, wife, whatever. I always attack myself first. I got to tell you, my experience in life of being around a lot of men in many areas of life, I was around a lot of guys. And here's the sad part. The wise guy, I'm going to break it down to three parts. The wise guy, the guy in the street, is usually more narcissistic trait. But there's no but. That's not a good thing. But what I'm saying is, but feels he takes care of his family. The bills are paid. Kids got everything they want. They go to private school, whatever. Uh, they're doing the right things financially. So in their mind, that justifies all the bad behavior that the wife doesn't know about, or You're not spending the time at home with the children. So you're failing and falling short in that aspect for the street guy. I don't care what schools you put your kid in, what you're buying them as gifts, what car your wife drives, how much jewelry she has, how big your white picket fence is in your big house. You're failing because you're not home and you're not there to help. You're not there to instill certain things. Yeah, you could instill with fear and words, but you're not leading by example. And that's where I fell short in that area. So you justify it in your head. I do. What do well, what do I? I don't know what you're complaining about. I don't know what you're complaining about. You got everything you want, but but you don't understand the mental part of it. Well, the how your partner, your wife, is thinking, um, and what you're doing to everybody mentally. The other, that's the street guy mentality. Again, can't paint with a broad brush, but you can't be living that life and not be 24/7 to it. So whoever, they can bullshit themselves all they want, but you got to look in the mirror, and the mirror don't lie. Now, the working man and the working man. I've been around a lot of working guys from all sorts of walks of life, doing 50, 60 hours a week. Everybody's doing the right thing. Who's working 2 jobs? Who's sometimes trying to get 3 jobs, right? Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. Do you know how many guys would bitch and moan and complain to me about they had to pay child support, or they had to do this for the wife or that for the wife, for the ones that were divorced? They could bitch and moan about child support. They bitch and moan if they had to give a little extra because the kids needed a haircut. Um, and it used to make me sick. Now, there are cases where the woman is not doing the right thing in that case, meaning she's not using that money that's meant to be for the kids, and it's not going to the kids, and you're getting called. Somebody could be getting a call. They need clothes, they need this, they need that. Wait a second. You're getting 600 a week in child support. I have, they with kids are with me all the time. There's a lot to it. But this is specifically for the men out there that bitch and moan and complain about paying child support, when yet it was all good and great when you were in the home and you had the children. But now that you have to give money, so they need diapers, milk, whatever it is, you don't want to do it. And I can't tell you the lengths some men would go through to not pay child support, and the games and scams that they would play to not do it. So that's really what I wanted to touch on today: men not being men. If anybody wants to comment on that? Timmy boy, I'm trying to shift over now. See if I can make this a little bigger. My mirror. That's right. My mirror lies all the time. Yeah. No, you know what I mean, brother. And how do you guys feel about that? And that was just one. I wasn't even touch on really the child support thing. It's really about selfishness, and that could work on both ends. But I'm a man, so I can only discuss men. But I cannot speak for every man. I can only talk about my experiences, what I fell short of, and and what I've observed in all the different areas and all the different professions. Okay, so you know, what do you guys think about that? Life is a two-way street. There's a, there's a flip side to that coin. The guy that is doing the right thing, that's, you know, taking care of everything. He's there emotionally. He's there physically. He's doing it all, and he's not getting what he believes he should. It's a two-way street. Everything is one way. That's an issue as well. So I wanted to throw that out there. And really, what it comes down to is this: if you're, I truly believe this and learned this over time. You talk about best friends and how this, that, and who's your best friend, how many friends you have, and who could you rely on, this, that, and the other thing. My dad told me when I was young, probably about 20, 18, he held up the number one. He said, "You know what that is?" I said, "What? What is it about?" He said, "When you get to be my age," he was probably in his mid 40s, late 40s. He says, "If you could hold up one finger and you got one good friend that's still loyal to you, you're doing good in life." Now, my father had 1,000 acquaintances, but he didn't use the word friend loosely. And that was really the lesson in it. Now, I have a few, I think I have a few dear friends. One happens to be in here right now. Um, and maybe more. But what I want to say is this: if I don't hate the word partner. If your husband or your wife isn't in that category, I'll show you a person that's miserable and is living a fantasy of something that's not there. Because there's nothing worse. If you can't come home and share your day, ups, downs, anything in between, and vice versa, problem. If you have to speak secretive, if you have to worry about your phone being left out, if you see, that's a problem. It's a great test. It's a great test. I'll tell you that. See, because I was guilty of that for a lot of, it's many years ago, but I was guilty of it. See, so always have, um, I would always delete my text messages. Always, as soon as somebody texted me, I read the message, I deleted it. I wasn't doing good things, right? So if my phone was left hanging around the house, which I'm sure I did it on a million occasions, somebody reads a message you don't want them to see, guess what happens? You get caught doing things you shouldn't be doing. And it doesn't always have to be that you're stepping out of the house. You're just you're not doing good. You're not doing anything of value to society. But the structure. So the great test is there's actually two. Next time you go out to dinner, whoever goes out to dinner, take a look around the restaurant. If you're with your significant other, your family, your children, whoever you're with, your friends, I don't know, whoever, take a look around. Look for the couples. The couples that you see having dinner together, and they're not saying two words to each other, but they're looking at their cell phones. Problem. If you have no, I mean, if you can't carry a conversation with your wife or your husband, problem. If you don't, like, at this point in my life, if my wife says, "Honey, do me a favor, I need your cell phone for a minute." At, at one time, I probably would have said, "Oh shit, something came up, I gotta go," because I wouldn't want her. Maybe there's something on my phone I wouldn't want her to see, and I thought I was playing. She knew. They know. So the message to the men out there: you ain't playing. You're not playing a smart woman. You think you're playing. But they know. So do the right things, and vice versa. If I ask my wife for her phone, it's not an issue. There's just nothing. There's nothing there. I don't ask her for her phone. But if I did, or just grabbed it because I couldn't, find mine or whatever, because I needed to make a call, it wouldn't be a problem. my ex was a real bully. Wow, Tracy, I'm getting to them now. I had to go. I'm sorry because the print is so small. I had to go to the courts to overturn my money support. As I wanted nothing from him, like a lot do, and think I did a great job on my own. I'll tell you something about that, Tracy. That's a testament to who you are as um, a person, human being. I'm gathering mom, obviously, um, and you were probably a great wife. Yeah, and he didn't know what he had. The bullying part, um, maybe it's possible you could be a bully without knowing you're bullying, but I don't think I definitely believe that's something I never was. Um, and as far as respecting a man that does that, no, you don't get points for that. As a matter of fact, you get abused for that. Back when I thought a certain way, you would get abused for that. And don't ever let nobody find out you're not taking care of your children in your home. Again, street guy mentality. That means everything, taking care of your home and your family and, you know, doing the right things in the house financially and supporting, and yet you could justify everything else. But don't let a guy find out that you're not doing the right thing at home as far as that. You'll get abused. Any wise guy or even the cooperators come across what I'm saying right now. It's a fact. It's a fact. And any man that might come across this video and doesn't like what I'm saying or totally disagrees with everything I'm saying, people don't have to agree. They have their opinion. And it strings a chord and it irritates them. Well, I would say if that happens, you're probably falling victim some way. Now, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I can't, I keep going back to this one particular person I used to have to deal with every day, who later, many years of being around him, I found out about 15, 18 years later who this person really was anyway. So all those years I used to hear him bitch and moan about $60, because that's what it was, bullshit money to take care of 4 kids, and she was only getting $60. Now, I'll just use this as a reference to give people an idea of how it works here in the States. And I didn't think we'd go into child support. I had no idea. Um, in New York State, it used to be set, and Timmy, you might be able to help me on this. I think it was 17 for one kid percent of your salary, 22% for two, and so forth and so on. So I don't care what your percentage is. You help bring these children into the world. You support your children. I don't care what relationship you have, like, dislike for your ex that you're no longer with. Your children are your children. And that's a fact. So when you were bitching, when somebody's bitching to me about pennies, and I'm at that point, again, you get no rewards for doing the right things in life. I don't believe you should get any rewards for doing what's right, what we were born to do. Men were born. Scripture. Sorry, folks. No, I'm not sorry. We're born to take care of our homes, be providers, be protectors, and be men, be respectful, be honorable. So I fell short in some areas. And there were some areas I like to think I didn't fall short in. But to hear, I knew a guy, I'll give you one even better. I knew a guy that took child support for 30 something years. Regular working man, took child support for 30 something years. Got away with it. Guess what happened when he went to retire? They hit him. And now at 65 years old, he passed away. So the woman obviously didn't get with all of it, but they took everything. They took his, I think she got a big chunk out of his pen. He wound up owing like $180,000, whatever it was, a crazy number. So as soon as he filed papers to retire and whatnot, Social Security kicked in, pulls right up, and any child support he owed for 30 something years, they added up, and guess what? You're paying it. So you could think you're slick all you want. Timmy boy, what's up, brother? I wish I could freaking make this bigger, man. I can't see shit. I'm going blind, bro. All right. You talking to the crew. But listen, guys, I don't know if you just find this to be interesting, informative, but I'm just keep. Oh, thank you, Timmy. Thank you, brother. I'm just trying to talk on real shit. We keep it real and raw here, and that's the idea. Talk on real stuff that maybe I see that irritates me, stuff I want to try to make people aware of, maybe that I didn't do so great in, so they try to avoid those situations and do what's right. Um, and that doesn't always mean, um, like I said, because you're doing the right things financially, but you're doing a million things outside. You know, this is some an old time again. There's a lot of things I'll quote because they're strong. You know, don't lead by words, lead by example. Great one. So true, so true. Lot for a good part of my life as a youngster, I led by words. You don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, and then I'm doing exactly the opposite out in the street, whether people see it or not. You know, my children, that is, I told you about. Another one is don't tell me what you do when everybody's watching. Let me know what you do when nobody's watching. So, like those are things that if you keep in your mind and think about them before you do anything, and I'm talking anything before, uh, I see, like, I was just telling this kid Joey Blunt's usually in our show, telling him on the phone at night, and we were having a good conversation, and I said to him, Joe, you ever drive down the street and you see somebody throw something out the window of the car? I'm talking about like crazy shit. I seen somebody throw chicken dinner out, like a box of chicken or whatever, right? That's just it's wrong. You shouldn't do that. It's like an animal does that. But I'm sure at some point we've all been guilty of throwing a piece of paper, a cigarette, or whatever. I'm smoking, whatever it is. I'm just thinking of whatever. So I use that as an example. You know what's wrong. Don't do it. That's what I mean by tell me about what you do when nobody's watching, not when everybody's watching. So if people are doing this shit when people are watching, what are they doing when nobody's watching? That preach, 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 bud. If you ain't practicing what you preach, message is gonna fall very short. What's that, Timbo? When you pay child support, it's important to give more money, absolutely. Then, yep, ordered by the court. Your children will only have a great, yep, another that. Timmy, that's well said. Me and you have had this conversation often, recent, and we've discussed this conversation a lot. Um, it's very true. Um, so paying child support, my kid, again, I guess can't speak about any other man and what their situations. So let's just hypothetically, I have four children. Okay, I'm paying child support for three. I also have, as Timmy says, besides child support, your responsibilities for your three children that you had in the previous marriage. Okay, you have a wife and another child, so you have four children. So you're going to pay child support for three plus whatever they need. That's what you. I can't tell anybody what any other man what they should do, but no rewards, no trophies, no patches. You ain't looking for one. Don't want one, but that's what you should do. They need haircuts, they need clothes, whatever it is, you get that call, you see it, you know it. Don't have alligator arms. Go in your pockets and take care of it. So you take care of, you know, 4 kids, your home, your wife, right? So you're working as many jobs as you can. You're doing whatever you have to do, the right things to do, legally, and it still ain't enough. And you're bitching and moaning for paying $40, $60 for child support. You don't want to buy their school clothes because it's extra. You don't want to take them for a haircut because it's extra. Boy, it's disgusting. It's disgusting for a man to act that and behave that way. Just like I believe it's disgusting for a mom to not share that money for the children that's supposed to go into the refrigerator of the house, but she decides to go out partying with that money every week. Because I know stories of that too. I know stories of that too. I know many stories of that too. So it is a two-way street. But I was, really wanted to get at the men here, and not get at the men, talk to them. I was both parents to my children. Sad stories about that, Maureen. I hear it a lot. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to share with you in a second. I was both parents to my children. Never sent a penny for child support. Listen, if that person is still alive, I don't, if he is or he isn't, I was going to say he's got to look in the mirror. Unfortunately, I found out in life some people can look in the mirror. I used to believe that, like Timmy just said, Timmy answered, the mirror doesn't lie. Like Timmy was joking around and said his mirror lies. Well, it doesn't. But here's the thing. I've learned to realize that some men just don't give a shit because they're narcissists. They don't give a shit. They only care about themselves. They don't care. They think it was their right to just get a woman pregnant, tell her he loves her, and then dip, when in actuality, it's a blessing to have children. It's a blessing to find somebody you fall in love with and to receive that love. Because there's got to be nothing worse. I told this to all my children from learning certain things, from being somebody who came from mother, this, disowned us, whatever you call it, right? 4 boys, took off. My dad remarried, yeah, but never knew my mother. Met her once in my life, whatever. Again, not a crutch. Um, so we're raised a certain way, and just you gotta. There's none of that. So maybe that is one of the reasons why I feel so strongly about this. Um, maybe, maybe, maybe that's why I feel this need to speak with men. Now, again, I'm not going to paint this with a broad brush. This doesn't go for every man out there. So anybody comes across this that does do the right things and does value his wife, and it's a two-way street. It's got to be a two-way street, because then you're not getting the love you deserve. If you're giving, it's got to be a two-way street, right? But if you're doing all these things and you're not getting that in return, I don't understand. I think too many times people mistake love and comfort. There's a difference. A lot of times, comfort is mistaken for love. They're comfortable seeing this guy every day, comfortable with this woman every day, comfortable living together, but yet all you do is scream and yell at each other, keep secrets from each other. Whatever it is, comfort. She's happy. She got the house. She got the cars. Whatever. Even if she doesn't, she got the roof over it. He's happy. Got somebody to cook for him. Whatever the case is, but yet he's doing so many things foul, and only that person knows what they are. And as my boys got older, I told them I never wanted it because I seen it too much. I never want to be 70 years old, if God gives me that, sitting on a park bench, not knowing what it's like to be fully loved and love somebody unconditionally. So that's a blessing because there's many people out there that are beautiful people that want to find that relation with a significant other, want to meet a nice woman, want to meet a good guy, whatever the case may be. And I speak to other people. I mean, I don't have hold a press conference, but we're kind of talking about it now. It gets out there, but people that on the show, or friends, whoever that I've had, through the breeze with Timmy, Matt, or whoever. And you'd be surprised how many people, 40, 30s, 50, you know, have never found that, have never found any love at all. And you could really take it back to childhood, not intimate love like that, but love wasn't shown to them. They didn't, it wasn't expressed to them. So therefore they don't know how to express it. So many things of if we lead by example and not by words and show and not say, I think we'll find that, I just think that we'll find that things will be better for your children you're raising. They're no different than the parents that are preaching to their children when they're very young. Never drink, never smoke, never do drugs. That's beautiful. That's great. Those are all things you should say. But if you're drinking and smoking in the living room in front of the kids and telling them that, that's no different than me telling my children when I was doing bad things in that life. Don't do this, you better never get in trouble, go to school, be smart, do all of that stuff. And yet I'm out in the street doing criminal activity. It's a hypocrite. And your words are hollow. Example. So listen, am I perfect? Do I no. But it's always on my mind about trying and lead by more action and not just words. Yeah, I have a lot of words. I have a lot of words, a lot of sayings, and there are things that were always driven into me or I took from somebody that meant a lot to me. I share them. But that thing on the park bench, that comes from experience as far as being married, being thinking I was totally in love, right? Um, not knowing where I was really, yes, being in love. But if love is only on one end and you're married so young, and you're not getting that in return because in actuality, she she really cared about you, but she didn't love you, right? Why spend 50 years of doing playing a charade? And it bothers me when I see that old couple that they, you've been around them a good part of your life, and all they did was scream and curse at each other, and truly did not like each other. I've seen it a lot. Trust me, I've seen it a lot. Obviously, that would mean it's people that were close, that I was in their homes all the time. It's horrible. You went through life as a charade. Look, here's it, I got all these tests about the restaurant. Take a peek who's talking to each other. Here's one. The Valentine's Day thing. I never. Well, I don't say never, but for the last 20 something years, probably me and my wife, we no like mandated holidays do I acknowledge too. So I don't believe somebody, should have to say on what day you need to say to your wife, say to your husband, your children, whatever, I love you, and go out and buy them a heart. When you can do it every day or whenever you choose all year, 10 times a day. I mean, so here's the test. If you find it hard on that day that you believe in so much, that Valentine's Day thing, but yet you have a hard time when you buy that card that says how much you love this person you're with, but yet you can't write, forget about it. You should be able to write a book about how much you love that person if you're saying it on the card. But if you can't write it 2 sentences and truly mean it, you're not in love, my man. You're just following something that everybody else is doing, just like the fake dinner you're going to and spending 600 on dinner. And you don't love that person because you didn't mean a word and it took you 6 hours to write those whatever bullshit you put in that card. It works 2 ways too. But I was a person towards the end of my first marriage, and we're great friends now. I couldn't write in that card. Couldn't do it. I was young, and I'm sure it was a hard time for her too because it was never there. But I'm blessed because for the last 25 years, although we don't celebrate it, I love you, and what she means to me is the easiest things to say, just like to my children and my friends. I tell them I love them. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not ashamed of expressing emotion. This isn't about people expressing emotion. It's just about those little things that shouldn't be, you know, if you're into the Valentine's Day thing and you really truly, that's your thing, go for it, do it. That's your thing. More power to you. But when you buy that card and it took you 2 hours to pick out that card, but you have no words to put inside that card because you know what? You don't feel it. If you feel something, it's easy to say or put into words. Just like honestly, I'm feeling what we're talking about. So I don't need to read a script to talk about it. It just happens. I don't know. That's how I feel about that. Let's see the chat. All right, here we go. I saw something said CG2. Isn't that something, Craig? All three of us strong women in here, yep, had to be the mom and dad and support our kids and survive. Wow, it hurt. Yeah, it hurts me to hear. CG, absolutely hurts me to hear. Um, I will say this, Tracy, you got it. You want me to tell her off? She didn't make you a cup. Come on, give her a cupcake. I think that's what it says. Come on, Katie, give her a cupcake. Do the right thing. Give her a cupcake. Be given. Give more than you'll ever receive in your life, and it'll make you feel better. There's no better feeling than giving. I mean, it's nice to get, to be thought of or whatever, but boy, to be able to give or help somebody, much more rewarding than anything else. I had that trait as a kid, a giver. Had many flaws, so at least no patches or trophies for me because what I did good, I failed in 20 other areas. So, but giving, no, that was never, it's not a problem. Wasn't ever an issue. I'd rather give than receive. And that takes me to another topic, and I wasn't going to go there. I wish I could go back in time, yeah, Timmy boy, and, for a day and have them running around the house in diapers. Yeah, I tell you, one of the toughest things, Tim, you brought that up. So for whoever's still here, and I'll wrap it. I'll wrap it. I don't want to be boring anybody no more. With my relationship conversations, right? I all of a sudden I became therapy. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to. It could help one household by a behavior. Awesome. We accomplished what this video was supposed to accomplish. Your comments, what you guys are going through might help another woman when they see it. Well, I'm going to say this. Probably the hardest thing I ever had when I got divorced was my 3 week young. Exact ages. I'm gonna say my boys were 4 and 3, and my daughter, I'm gonna say 7. So I will say this, just like I said before, our love had separate. We had no love for each other as a couple should have. Maybe we cared about each other as people, but we were not in love. So I didn't have one night of of, and I would say of when I was gone, when I left, thrown out, whatever, whatever. When we separated, I didn't have one night of tears for the marriage, but I had a million nights of tears for not watching my kids run around in their pajamas, but laying in bed with them, watching cartoons with them anymore. You know, in your mind, watching wrestling with them. But that was at that very moment, missing that, not seeing, especially, a lot of venom in the beginning, like a lot of them go. So there's so much venom in the beginning that, you know, either you're being told you can't go see them or you're choosing not to because it's craziness, whatever the case is. But that's what I battled for a few months. It's hard, not good. Was never ashamed to share it or say it. Because if you can't shed a tear for your children, then there's really something for you, with you. Um, yeah, I had that Timmy, and what you just said brought, yeah, yeah, absolutely. But we can't go back in time, pal, unless we get Dr. Brown from what was that, Back to the Future, CD2. That's lovely. You both are so close, Tracy. That is absolutely. That I tell you, man. I don't want to be. Here we go with all these sayings and phrases, but here's another one. Write them down. Here's another one. We get one chance at life, right? Try to get it right. Doesn't mean, so all the things, the areas you failed in, it's never too late to get them right and move forward. So we get one shot at this. God's given us one shot at life. Try to get it right to the best of your ability, and I'll leave it on that. You guys are the best. I didn't think we would win this road. We did. Be cool. And tomorrow, 1 o'clock, we have a special uh, person coming on, near and dear to my family, my children, and know that guy since he's a little kid. All right. So I'm trying to do this for you guys, but this freaking thing does not allow me to do it. Be well. Love you guys.